Hi guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll look into a scenario in which Russia invades the Baltics. And because if we had NATO involved, Russia would get routed. NATO ain't going to be involved. Because we don't want to completely rout Russia right away. After they take the Baltics, that is, but they will have allies join. And they have an ally already joined. You should guess who it is. But NATO disappeared in this universe. Wait, what? Yep, NATO disappears when it's needed the most. And Russia owns the Kuril Islands. No, they don't. But they think they do. Let's just show the map like Russia says it is. Oh, wait. If we did that, we'd have the Soviet Union come back today. But yeah, in seriousness, the Baltics aren't strong. But what people don't realize is Ukraine isn't a weak country. It's the 15th strongest nation, which gave it a huge advantage. Strong nations don't fall easy. But why is Ukraine showing up here? Because, well, Russia's kinda maybe invading. Fine, it's a war. Don't tell Russia that. They don't believe that. But yeah, and that's what the front lines look like. And so Russia declares war on the Baltics, and Ukraine's like, really, what? There's going to be not too much support from the West, I guess, if NATO doesn't exist. Most of the support is coming from NATO. And Russia prepared a few more offensives. Like, they prepared 2 offensives here. Don't know about Kaliningrad, but let's say they forgot about Kaliningrad. That's just going to give more interesting. Fine, they didn't. But the Baltics push into it. They push Russia back because Estonia beat Russia in, I think, 1918, 1919, maybe in the 1920 era, when Russia just kept losing. With most of Estonia having fell, Russian troops are having more success in Ukraine for some reason, randomly, as they cross back against a river, the Dnieper. And I'm having slow advances into the Baltics, for some reason. There being 2 actual colors. I don't know how I ended up doing this. I guess one was... So yeah. As they're moving down from this landing in Latvia, Poland's had enough of Russia and joins the war, which pushes Russia back. But now Russia is fighting a war that's 3 fronts. So they get Belarus involved so they can split the 2 fronts, hopefully. That's their goal. They go around, is it the Swarovski Gap? Whatever the gap is called, it doesn't matter. Right here, see? And now the Baltics are split off from Poland. Now they move down here to damage supply lines, which is a strategy. And Romania joins this war. And guess who else joins is Finland. As Poland gets Slovakia and Czechia to help them. Hungary just does nothing. To make the front line longer for supply lines, which was a good idea. Now Russia's fighting a bunch of fronts. But with this strategy being so successful, Ukraine's getting less supplies, which allows them to make an offensive. Not Ukraine, but Russia. Keep in mind, this is if every Russian that was possible to conscript is probably at the battlefield. Of Russia invading Finland, and Finland like, yeah, you think we're okay with you invading us? Well, we'll invade your Arctic then. And it goes so well, they even managed to get to the coast. And they move down this way. And their offensive so far goes pretty well. Counter-offensive. Didn't happen, but Russia's headed to split Finland in 2, which I think that was a few of their plans years ago. Which is smart, but ultimately, Finland makes a counter-offensive. but they lose some of this land near St. Petersburg. The closest to St. Petersburg they lose, as Russian defense is high. With the Baltics on the brink of collapse, Russia makes another landing, except this time they don't need to worry because Finland is dealt with. No, Poland is dealt with. Whatever, it's something. With the Ukrainians making a counter-offensive. And another one here. Unfortunately, this is too solid to break through. And while the Baltics are collapsing, and Russia is being evil, I guess. Transnistria has fallen. Well, that makes sense. Bulgaria does nothing because, yeah. Either does Serbia. They just stay neutral, I guess. With Turkey saying, yeah, we support Russia. No, really, we support Ukraine. Whatever. They just take both sides. With Ukraine avoiding attacking Belarus, realizing they're not that strong. But yeah. With their front line looking like this, they're managing to hold it pretty well. And they make a tiny counter-offensive, almost to Kherson. And one up by Kiev they make. With Russian forces flooding into Poland. And mad at Hungary because they're not joining or helping them. They finally succeed in doing this. But probably could be the end of them. Who knows? With their water side offensive going well, with them making a landing in Romania. And moving down into Romania and headed towards Bucharest. But Hungary didn't join, so Russia gets mad at them. And Hungary did not expect this. See, I told you can't trust Russia. Fine, you probably can. With Romania's capital, Bucharest, being seized by the Russians and taken as they move down Romania. They're not really getting into the mountains because they're too steep, I guess. But they're moving into Moldova's mountains. Doesn't Moldova have mountains? Yeah, it does. Moldova collapsing. Most of Romania has fallen. Poland starting to fall back. With Slovakia collapsing and forces moving into Czechia. And Hungary on the brink of collapse. Poland and Ukraine make a counter-offensive, along with Romania and Hungary and Czechia working on the south of this offensive. But they work up by Belarus, with them doing it like this. And their goal is to connect their front lines, which they succeed in, encircling hundreds of thousands of Russian troops. In re-liberating Slovakia. Eventually, this area is either taken prisoner or goes missing. But let's see how Finland's offensive went during this time. Well, Finland kicked the Russians out. Fine, this offensive happened slightly before that one. They managed to cut off Karelia and the Kola Peninsula. And then they move here, which I think I heard there's weapons, WMDs. I'm not even sure if that's even true. So yeah, let's say they walk through here and there's a lot of military equipment they're just taking. And now Finland has done it. Their goals. As the counter with the Belarus attack being realized is very smart because a lot of weapons are coming through this area. So they go through Belarus, Polish and Ukrainian forces, and they move up towards Minsk. And they encircle the city and they take it. Which hurts Russian supply lines significantly. And this allows Poland to try and push back towards the Baltics. With Finland saying, should I go towards St. Petersburg or land in the Baltics? Poland tells them to land in the Baltics, which they do. They land in Estonia and take Tallinn back. And they land in Latvia, the Polish forces do. I mean, not the Finnish. with the goal to encircle Kaliningrad now. And let's see, how does Romania's counteroffensive go? Well, it does this. Romania isn't a weak country by any stretch, but isn't the strongest, let's say. With Ukraine helping take back Odessa and Moldova and parts of Romania, they start moving against Russian forces ahead of the Dnieper. And now the Baltics. Lithuania gets retaken from the Russians. Estonia, and now the battle for Latvia rages on, which is won by the blue team. Shocker, blue teams always win. With the movement in Kaliningrad, which has 80,000 troops left after this attack. With Russia have sent 3 million troops and failing with it. And why didn't I have NATO? Because NATO would have already done that to them. With Belarus giving itself a W and surrendering, then they declare war on the Russian Republic. Now Belarus knows what's that. How did Belarus do that? Well, their government was overthrown with a new pro-Western government first. With Finland now headed towards St. Petersburg, Poland and the new Belarusian government starts headed there too. And so is Latvia and Estonia, who are beating Russia for the second time. And St. Petersburg falls on the Russia. And Crimean offensive goes to success. An offensive in southern Russia goes to success. And then they launch a Belgorod offensive, which goes very successful, even taking the city. Belarus sends a Russian offensive and meets up with the Ukrainian. With Russia just being like, yeah, we don't want to fight anymore, we give up. Putin getting overthrown. And yeah, now for the peace treaty. The Treaty of Lviv. Yep, that's going to be a peace treaty. Everybody meets in Lviv and deciphers a peace treaty. And how many reparations they'll get. Significant land and those reparations of smaller nations with weaker economies, including Moldova, Romania, Hungary, Czechia, Slovakia, Belarus, Estonia, and Latvia, well, with paying to rebuild all the countries. And these countries form the alliance called the Eastern Alliance. Fine, they call it the Intermarium, whatever that is. Fine, I don't know what they call it. Fine, they call it the Great Polish Alliance. Nope. They call it the Warsaw Pact. No, that's not a good one. How about the Lviv Pact? Yeah, that's better. The Warsaw Pact doesn't sound great. Well, it is a great name. But history doesn't make it a great name. I don't think. Well, history is wrote by the victors, I guess. The Cold War never ended. Imagine if that's the case. Cold War with communism versus capitalism. They're still communist nation. That don't like democracies. So maybe it didn't end ever. And now, let's look at this, guys. The Lviv Pact. A force to be reckoned with. And look at Belarus. Yeah, I kind of like their borders more now. They look like a certain shape. Yeah. They look pretty nice. Yeah, that's what they look like. And thank you for viewing this video. I hope you liked this video. So please like this video, subscribe, and comment. Why should you subscribe? We're 18 subscribers away from our next subscriber special at 750 subscribers. And we're 78 away. 68 subscribers to go to our goal of 800 by August 1st. So please like and subscribe so we can hit our goal. That'd mean a lot. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. But not until you subscribe.